you know, this is an ongoing campaign. You've been spearheading this for quite some considerable time now. We're still talking about it. Is anybody listening?
This is a breakthrough day today because I think very often when we're talking about protecting child health, politics is often in the way. And today's a really interesting day with the letter because all of the other opposition parties have agreed that they disagree in a lot of things, but not this. And that if there's any conversation about a relevant, strong and stable Britain, then you have to protect child health to be more productive in the future and to be a happier, healthier country. Working against all sorts of other countries. You know, I think it's an amazing moment for us. And of course, the point of it is it's not one thing. And I've had to tackle one thing at a time for many, many years. It's an environmental change where everyone has to do a little bit to make a dramatic change. So
you've got so today you're sending this letter to Parliament. There's 13 points that are listed in there. So let's just go through a few of those. The first point is to end junk food advertising on TV before 9 p.m. There's going to be a backlash to this, isn't there? Because you're going to find yourself up against supermarkets. You're going to find yourself up against huge companies who are going to be saying, well, this is how we make our profits. You're going to multi-buys in supermarkets. Yeah. This is where the money comes from.
So let me simplify it for you. We currently have regulations that protects junk food advertising to kids up until 6 p.m. What we've proved is that's not where the kids are. The kids are on screens, they're on their phones, and they're watching the big shows like Britain's Got Talent, X Factor, and then if you kind of watch a whole season, by the end of that season, you've watched a whole feature film length amount of junk food advertising. And under the circumstances of British kids being some of the most unhealthy in Europe, is that OK logically, rationally? And the answer's, no. So it's not saying that advertisers can't advertise. It's saying what they advertise can't just be the unhealthy options. So, for instance, if you took a brand of soda, let's not mention the name, they can advertise the diet versions, but not necessarily the high sugar versions. And it could be equivalent in any other sort of thing. So it's not really taking away their ability to advertise, but in a way, the structure of it would be to promote healthier options, which is much better for kids.
But the thing is also, Jamie, I mean, we were discussing this yesterday, that we appear to be being hoodwinked still as consumers by the food industry. We were talking about yoghurt yesterday. Yoghurts that are aimed at children, they're fat-free, and you think, oh, that's good, but they are absolutely rammed with sugar. And so until everybody's honest, as a parent, you don't stand a chance. You think, oh, yoghurt's going to be healthy 100%. For my child.
And you've said it, Phil, honesty. All we dream for is honesty and fairness and choice. So what you're going to hear in the conversation and the debates everywhere is about what's being taken away. And if you really look at it, it's about what's being given. It's often about what you do get, not what you don't get. So I think, for the governments that have been over the last decade, no one's agreed on having compulsory front-of-pack labelling, colour coding. The businesses like you confused. If you're confused, then you keep buying the same thing. So I think the concept of choice is about fair, honest labelling. Yeah. It's about clarity. It's not voluntary. We keep talking about voluntary, but what happens is you get some companies that do and many that don't. So we want a fair playing field for business as well.
And what about, because a lot of children, are watching, viewing things online, on social media. There's so much advertising that comes around those forums as well. And the thing is, we know too well how hard that market is to police. The government can't even take away fake advertising, let alone the real stuff.
Well, look, we're in a time now where the conversation around data and getting your message to the right audience. Look, if you're trying to sell a product, you can be very specific about who you target. And what this letter is about is that it's not right, it's not morally right to target children. So whether it's a screen, whether it's a programme, or actually even, like I was walking to work the other day and the new digital bus stop signs, it's very obvious and clear that they're targeting kids going to school at specific times, and then the adverts change. So I think, all of this happens behind, I think for the public and the parents watching today, I know they're busy, I know they hear a lot of this, but really it's about a concept of you want a government and you want activist groups and you want campaigners and charities, you want there to be a lot of people that care about the detail of what's really happening, getting turned into protection for kids.
Yeah.
And of course, no legislation ever in history is stagnant. We've always evolved. We've always evolved, whether it's seatbelt laws, whether it's smoking laws, whether it's about having checks in the water that comes out your tap, or whether it's about the guy that drives the bus that your kids get delivered to school in. You know, there is regulation and thought and love and care in all of that, and most of them are always incentivised by death or protecting public health.